For those of you who can actually hear us and wondering why we're silent, we're actually seeing if Daily Motion is actually streaming what you see on screen right now.
So just over, or right around 8 hours, 50 minutes remaining. Infinity Sports and AB Racing Silver currently on your screen. Heading through La Source down towards Eau Rouge.
AB Racing Silver not really closing the gap too much. Further back, we might have a battle soon between All-Star Racing Team and KRT Motorsport 2. Currently on board with the Alpinho. Just ahead of these two is Iberica Racing Team, currently in the 6th position. Quite a few laps ahead, actually. Whoa! You have a big accident. Look, once again, like Ham Endurance Team had an accident in Blanchiment.
Yep, curve on the left-hand side of Blanchiment, spun around, backed it gently into the tire barrier on the opposite side of track, and battered that already severely battered rear end of the car. So hopefully in the next hour we'll start getting our British commentators back.
Yeah, I'm tired of eating sandwiches here, trying to stay awake.
Not that either of us will be able to actually go to sleep.
Absolutely not.
Until this is over.
Yeah, Matthew Hill, right on the back of Sven Kresmer. Team TTL still trying to move their way back up through the field.
Oh, looked like Hill for TTL didn't get quite a good run ready on, getting a little twitch on it, looked like.
Yeah, I think he just got a little bit too close on entry.
He's got a draft. Will he stick it up the inside at Lake Home?
Yes.
He does, and Kressmer yields the position.
Succeeds that.
Looks like, well, Infinity Esports coming into the pits very soon. And,
Yeah.
AB Racing
AB
Black.
Racing Black. Yeah.
Or Silver, excuse me.
Oh,
Who's the
yes.
one just behind them.
Number 12 car. They've been pretty much nose to tail for the past 5 laps or more. Don't know if anything's actually going to happen here. Have another battle for position further back. It's actually for the 35th spot. Darren Seal for Team Camaro 1 on the back of Sam Doby for CTC Racing 2. However, we see AB Racing Silver, Yao Pinho all over the back of Peter Ridley. Whoa! Peter Ridley looks like, yes, he enters the pits.
Need to freak out because he took a very late apex for the first part of the chicane. Or did... Oh, I see what happened now.
We're going to see if Darren Seal can get around Sam Doby for the 35th position. Just to note, we do have 15 retirements. Sounds like a lot, but out of 60 cars, it's not really that bad. Including in that is the 2 GT Ross, the silver and orange cars. They're in the top 5 early on. And then also the leaders of the championship and the leader of the race early on, Team Redline. They also have retired from the race. New World Sim Sport also retired. Falcon GP. Quite a few other names. I think Darren Seal here should have a decent run. See that Sam Doby has a draft up ahead. I believe that's the 109 of Cracks Racing Team. I may be wrong though.
That is the 109 of Cracks Racing Team. Danny Hughes had tweeted 7 minutes ago to the IR MOE tag, "Night shift is over, car had a crash, still lightning fast after optional repairs, mate's taking over." That is Core Motorsports, car 33.
Good to know that the car's still alright. We're currently running in the 3rd position. Simon Cattell for NX Racing Blue actually is in the pits right now. So I believe that's actually what gave Core Motorsports the 3rd position. Still don't know the strategies and how this is going to end, especially with pit stops and whatnot. Third place has been shuffled around a lot between Core Motorsports, NX Racing Blue, and Glacier Racing. I think soon to be up in that mix also is Virgil Racing.
Yep. think they had a timeout about 3 or 4 hours ago, which
Yep.
they're recovering from quite nicely.
They lost a good half a lap for sure.
Timo Evening, Simon McDowell in pit lane for NX Racing Blue.
Yeah, those two guys both are late night European people. Timo actually competing in the pro oval side. I believe he's going to end up getting his DWC license in oval, which is quite weird. He actually isn't DWC in road anymore, yet he's going to be, actually I don't even think he'll be pro anymore on the road side, but yet he's going to be getting his DWC license soon for the oval side. Don't know where his priorities is anymore, but I guess he just wants to try something different. Endurance racing has just reached iRacing, and that's something different as well. As you see, Darren Seal, huge run for Team Kimura. Sam W can't really do any form of defending there. Now we have a couple little battles going on now, so this is good. We now have Matthew Hill. Whoa, huge dive bomb on the inside of New World Sim Sports Scarlet. Jonathan Butel. I don't think he was ready for that.
I think he bought the bait, dived out of the way.
I don't think he was really going to do that, but then Butel gave it to him. Now we have Sven Kresmer on the back of Butel. That was weird there. I don't know if you probably hear on streams Sven Kresmer shifting back and forth.
Side by side, and Kresmer will have the inside for let go. Maybe Butel yields.
Yeah, Butel
almost thought that Kresmer was going to lose it on the braking. It looked like he had a bit of a twitch as he applied the brakes.
A lot of these guys run their brake bias pretty far back. One of the things it does is kind of preserve the front tires, but that's pretty important in cars like the McLaren and BMW. But it's going to make the car a little twitchy on entry, as you saw there. Let's find somebody new to go on board with for a lap. Haven't been on, well, actually we're on board right now, but let's see here. Who could we pick on? Try a few notes of what's going on right now also. The top two still separated by pretty much 90 seconds. That's NX Racing Red and Coanda SimSport. Scott Michaels for R4R has just cracked the top 10. Unfortunately, I always just look at the last name, so I don't know if Scott and Sam's been switching back and forth or not, but all I know is there's been a Michaels brother driving for the last, well, quite a few hours.
Let's see, on lap 383 now, scrolling through the laps list. Scott has been in the car since a long time ago, since 261. It was constantly Scott Michaels.
Since 261?
Yeah.
That's 121 laps straight.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bit nuts.
I wonder if they were doing the, no, they're probably not, no, I don't think they're doing the switch, in-car switch thing, are they?
No, they're not. We don't actually have a rule against one driver, how many hours they drive straight. We just have the 60% rule for this race, and also 3 drivers required. So it makes it to where no driver can drive over 60% for their team.
60% for this round, 70% for the 12 and 24 hours are 60%. The 6-hour races and the 1,000-kilometer by extension are 70% limits.
Yeah, we actually pretty funny after last race. There was a decision by NX Racing Red last race to put Isaac Price back into the car for the final stint, and they didn't realize, but they could actually have put Jake Sturgis back in the car, which they thought maybe was their faster driver for that final stint with the battle against Birica Racing Team. And they thought they were going to hit the 60% rule if they put Jake back in the car. But what they didn't realize is that it's 70% rule for the 6-hour race and the 6-hour races and the 1,000-kilometer race, and therefore they would have been safe by 2%. So just have to pay attention there to the different changes from between 12 and 24 and the 6-hour races to see the percentage and how long you can actually run. Also, shout out to Miguel Martin, Radicals Online 2. Earlier he dropped back to 11th position, but now he's back up to 9th. I think that had to do with pit stops. But now after that slowdown and everything, now he's gotten into a groove, doing pretty well.
So on board for a lap with Miguel Martin for Radicals Online 2. Enjoy the sound.
Just saw an onboard lap there, Miguel Martin for the Radicals Online 2 team. By the way, if you're wondering why we do these onboard quiet laps, yes, also it's to give the team some recognition. Also, letting you guys enjoy a lap with one of these drivers. But then also we don't do commercial breaks or anything like that, so we have to go and use the restroom or anything like that at some point in time. So it's also a good point to do it. Just a little insight of the different things that we're doing.
Well, and it just lets us rest our voices for 2 minutes or so.
Yeah. Thankfully, there's not been too much shouting, so I'll have a voice tomorrow, that's for sure.
So I think in about half an hour I'll start Facebook spamming Oscar to see if he'll respond.
Half an hour? That's good.
Yeah. That'll be 8 a.m.
8 a.m., 8 hours left. Sounds right.
Yeah.
See on the screen right now, it's NX Racing Red. Actually extended their lead last time we looked, about 5 seconds over Coanda Simsport. Probably a little help with traffic there, helping them extend their lead. I'd actually like to see the Glacier Racing car, as you see there in the background of your screen. Now the only car on your screen. The Glacier Racing Ford and then also Team Ueven and the NX Racing Blue car kind of get together. A couple fins. I think they'd put on a pretty good race. I know they had their Finnish meetup recently. Saw plenty of pictures and video of that. Finnish meetup's always pretty well documented, I guess you could say.
Isaac Price is showing this online on Facebook, and it's so tempting just to say, "Can his interview please?" But don't want to mess up his focus.
Yeah, I think actually he will be this next stint for NX Racing. Red, that is. I don't believe PJ is going to be running much longer. It's already 2:36 for him. As I was saying, what's close to 12 hours ago now, is that he's not one to stay up too late, so we shall see what happens with that. Everything's really calmed down as well. There hasn't been many incidents or anything like that. Those teams are getting into a really good rhythm now.
The thing too is Flux Racing retired according to Michael Booth.
Oh, that's tough. They're doing good. I believe they're inside the top 20. Now I see them currently there in the 30th position, and yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be driving any longer. Yeah, no one's in the car. The car's not even at the circuit right now. So they're already packing their bags. Little note that we were watching earlier, however, we never really got to see it happen due to pit stops and whatnot. Pure Racing Team 1 actually did end up getting around Mad Cow Racing 2. Currently over 13 seconds ahead as well. Just up ahead of Pure Racing Team 1 is Pure Racing Team 2. So both of their, well, they have 3 cars, but 2 of the 3 cars are doing a really good job. The other one, their 3rd car, is actually in the 19th position. That would be Sven Kresmer, currently driving. So Pure Racing's having a pretty good outing right now. A little update on Virgil Racing. Ahead of them you have NX Racing Blue, about 36 seconds ahead. And then you have, behind you have the Iberica Racing Team, 25 seconds behind. Stefan, I'm sorry, I don't even want to pronounce your last name because I will completely ruin it. So Virgil Racing had a little rough lap last lap, 222, whereas the Iberica Racing Team had a 220, a more respectable lap. Most likely traffic and stuff playing a role there. Also the fact, I believe Virgil Racing is at closer to the end of their stint. Yes, they are. They're on lap 20, whereas Iberica Racing Team is on lap 9, and NX Racing Blue is on lap 7. So, if you're wondering why Virgil Racing is that much slower, might as well say that there's quite a bit of help from the tire wear. Have a possibly something brewing up here for 20th position. Daniel Hake for All-Star Racing Team 3. And also Jonathan Butel, everyone's favorite Le Mans lover. New World Sim Sports Scarlet. Wow, I almost said Scandal.
You just like that TV show.
Oh, the TV show's Scandal? I've never even seen it before.
Well, me neither. I've heard about it.
Heard some decent things about it, but I can't really get into TV shows unless it's something like Game of Thrones or True Detective's been pretty good as well. It sounds 2 HBO shows, but that's pretty much all I watch when it comes to TV shows.
HBO's kind of about the only stuff I was watching on TV anyway.
Yeah, there needs to be something like Breaking Bad or something like that to come along for me to watch a normal TV show again.
Mr. Butel, Mr. Le Mans, 20 laps since his last stop, and Mr. Daniel, wherever he's at, so I can make sure. Daniel Hickey, is 10 laps since his last stop.
So 10-lap difference there. They also now have a pure racing car in between them, which actually probably is going to help Daniel. Should help him get the draft and just pull his way up to Butel. Butel now letting Hollensberger by in the pure racing team car.
And look, he tries to follow through. They make contact and a spin!
Well, I think Butel actually got quite a bit of left front or right front damage out of that. Now we see just in the background the leader, NX Racing Red. This is not what they want to see. Couldn't really tell there if Butel ran a little wide or if Hake kind of pinched him off a little bit. See Daniel Hake there just put around NX Racing Red. Very nice thing to do there. PJ Sturgis just probably said thank you for that. Once again, Daniel Hake will probably use the car who's currently lapping. Jonathan Butel used them to help basically himself get around Jonathan Butel. This time Butel gives away the inside. He's just going to give away the position itself.
Well, I think what he was trying to do was just make sure he yielded clearly to the leader,
yeah.
And just the other guy decided to follow him through. Was his right.
Yeah, I think it was more smart by Butel just to do that, not make sure not to cause any incident. Let's see, who else do we have here? Scott Michaels actually just entered the pits. Is he going to be doing a driver change? Sure wish he would. However, it doesn't look like it. Yep, Scott Michaels is going to remain in the car. That is insane. Actually, I'm going to have to put it on Teemu Ivonen right now, because I have to tell this story. Deco, I'm pretty sure you've heard this story before.
Start telling it and I might remember.
Me, Teemu, 16-hour race. Does it ring a bell?
Continue to spin the yarn. This is the Racing Mind 16-hour race at Liver Speed.
Yes.
Which was a legendary event.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty popular race in Liver Speed. Had multiple splits and whatnot. Yeah, so what happened for the viewers out there is me and Teemu had the night shift. Some of you might know the name Rudy Van Buren. He helped with the day shift. But we only had 3 drivers for the 16-hour race. And Rudy helped out with day, and then I think it was the first 7 hours mainly. And the last 10 hours was really just all me and Teemu. At least until all the way through the race, all the way to the end. And because of that, me and Teemu we split up the race nicely, and then it came to the last 7 hours of the race, and I get in the car, and it's roughly, I want to say midnight, And I get in the car, and the next thing I know, every time I go to do a pit stop and say, hey, I need, let's do a swap, whatever, Timu says, oh, no, I can't do it because he doesn't have his coffee. And he keeps saying how the coffee shop ain't open yet, so he can't go get coffee. And he lived literally right above the shop at the time. I don't know if he still lives there or not. And he kept explaining, it doesn't open until 9 a.m. So I keep driving, and the next thing I know, I was driving 6 hours and 45 minutes. And I had to do a pit stop with 15 minutes left in the race. And he's like, hey, Phil, you can do a driver swap now.
Yeah, I remember that.
Painful experience, very painful experience. He to this day will not admit that happened. He will not admit. We were the only 2 people in TeamSpeak, and he will not admit it happened. I wish I had somebody else there. I wish I was recording it, something, but he will not admit it. And I'm going to tell everybody it happened, because it really did.
We have, through our time in TeamSpeak things, we have caught some pretty good moments by TeamSpeak recordings.
Yeah.
And we've caught some moments that have caused controversy.
Yes, that too.
If you'll remember back to the Kyoto 500 2009 specifically.
Yes, but we also had one of the team members in the next, Miko. He, in one of the 24-hour races, I believe it was one of the 24-hour races, he actually damaged the motor, and nobody knew. And everyone's like, wow, I'm like slower, and nobody could really figure it out. And he never would say that that's what he did. And he never admitted it. And then like a year later, he told everyone on Skype, and he's like, sorry guys, yeah, I damaged the motor, blah, blah, blah. It was just a random conversation, and he said it. It was like, everybody really knew it, but he finally admitted it to people.
Isaac Price in the pits, by the way. Or, excuse me, Sturgis in the pits. PJ relieves himself of duty in the car, and Isaac Price drops off the jacks and cruises out of the pit lane.
I'm curious actually who Isaac's backup is. I believe, Simon's actually in that race in blue. So it would have to be either PJ or Dave. I haven't seen much of Dave lately. So he's probably backup currently for Isaac Price. Yeah, a bunch of good stories, really. And it's all about endurance racing, to be honest. All the good stories somehow come from it. Mentioned that Koana Simsport also in the pits. Did you see a driver change just happen? Renz Brookman got out of the car, and Andre Butcher got into the car. Andre, actually, him and Martin were probably the 2 quicker guys. Yes?
We got someone we can talk to.
Is it by any chance Bert of Flux Racing?
You'd be correct. Bert Ekmans from Flux Racing. He is here. He wants to talk. He wants some grief counseling. Something unfortunate happened to their team, causing them to retire. What was it, Bert?
Yeah, we had a crash at the radio. We lost the car, or I lost the car actually, at the exit of radio, hitting the outside curb and going over the AstroTurf, and that was it. From there on, I was a passenger, so he went straight to the wall, and yeah, that was the end. Then we had no fast repairs anymore, so.
And you all seem to be in a pretty good position up until that point. Was the race going the way you wanted it to up until that point?
Yeah, the race was very decent from us. We had a very nice race pace also, so yeah, from I think from this night we were, I think, somewhere in the top 20. Somewhere between place 18 and 16. Then we had some issues with the pit stop, and yeah, then we lost some time from there on. But yeah, we were making progress again with Diego that took over the steering wheel this morning. He had a stint of 2 hours, so yeah. And then I jumped into the car, but yeah, I immediately had some problems with my throttle that was stuck, so I needed to yeah, remove my pedals again and attach them again, and we lost also some time in there, but yeah, not a very good stint from me, and I think we hit we got the problem when I was, I think, right behind Miguel Martin. And the car, yeah, understeered on radio, and yeah, I think I needed to back off, but I didn't want to take the slowdown, so I kept my foot on the throttle. But yeah, then on the exit, I caught the AstroTurf, and yeah, that was the end.
You said you just had a long explanation there, so I'm just going to pinpoint one thing.
Yeah.
You said you had an issue in the pits. What was the issue in the pits?
Yeah, my issue was I had some pedal problems, so I took over the steering wheel from our driver Diego Hams, but I had no throttle input, so I had, I think, 5 or 10% throttle input, so I needed to detach my pedals and attach them again, and yeah, then I had pedal input again, so it was not an excellent start of my stint. But
which pedals do you use?
I use Fnatic pedals, but I don't think it's really related to the pedals itself, but I think more to do with my USB connections on my PC. So
okay.
yeah, I don't want to blame them, so nor do I blame iRacing for my fault. So don't think it was totally my fault. So no one to blame, only me to blame in this case. So.
Well, I don't know what to say. It's heartbreaking to not be able to finish the race.
Yeah. Certainly, we had a decent race pace, we had a decent race plan, so we had everything in our hands, but I just lost it, so a bit frustrating. I think I really need to thank our team also. They did an excellent job also. Diego, Forza, Johan, Sebastian, they all did an excellent job. Also, my spotter in the car this morning, Kevin Daniels, who's actually a bit sick, but he wanted to spot for us, so I really need to thank him also, because yeah, he woke up this morning feeling not that really good, so special thanks also to him. And also to you guys for organizing this event.
It's what we're born to do.
And for the broadcast, because I'm not really sure how awake you still are after 24 hours.
We're actually zombies. That's how we stay for all 24 hours.
Yeah, it's about to hit 16 hours in. And yeah, I mean, we can feel it. We're a little tired, but just gotta keep going. It's currently 3 a.m., so this is when it starts getting hard, between 3 and 6 a.m. It's going to be tough for us, but I think once the Europeans come back, we have a couple British commentators. Once they come back, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll suffer and sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah, it's always a nice thing to do with 24 hours, but yeah, you need it onto the black stuff for 24 hours to finish it, so that is the most important thing.
Our man with the wise words in the channel chat read my mind, because I was about to ask you, how's your season been so far? Have you enjoyed it? Have you found it harder or easier than you expected, etc., etc.?
I must say that our season started quite good. We had a very decent finish for our team, I think, on Road America. I think we went from 58 to position in top 20, top 30. I think we finished 22 in Road America, so that was a very excellent job by us. From Suzuka on, we had a new driver in our team, Sebastian Kemel. He is the fastest guy in our team, so he really tuned up our team because he is also good in setuping, so that helped us also quite a lot. He has a decent qualify speed, so during the season, it was a big help for us. And onto Spa, I think the same there. I think we had something in mind. I think we also qualified quite well. I think we qualified without any slipstream, I think. So so far so good for the season. A bit bad that we ended like this now on Spa, but we will see. I'm not been in real life to Spa, only in the virtual world, so I'm not sure how it will feel if you drive onto the radio and do the stuff I did, but I think we saw it last season in the 24 hours of Spa also, a guy that lost it on radio, so
Yeah, start at the beginning of the race, we did a 360 in front of the field.
Oh yeah, that was and then the 24-hour race. It was quite a lot more hectic than this one.
Yes, a lot of big incidents in the last one, for sure.
Yeah, so I hope, for the rest of the season we will keep up this level of racing, and I think we are doing the same like we are doing now. I think we will be quite okay with it. I think we will lose some points now because I think this race was counting for double of the points or something like that. We were just in the top 30, so I think we will now lose a lot of places because of that. So next time we will need to qualify very good, I think, because the level of racing in here is quite high. I think all teams are very equal. There are a few teams like Redline, Kawana, they are on top of the game, so we cannot really do a lot about that, but I think if we can finish it between 15 and 25, that is a very excellent job by us for the rest of the season. And so I really hope we can improve more and stay out of trouble next time.
Alright, any team websites or Facebook
we have
pages you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, we have a Facebook website or page actually. It's called Flux Racing Team. So anybody that is interested in us, you can always like us over there, and we update it quite often, so you can always read the latest news on there of our team. So because we also try to raise the GES league, so so head over to that page and find out more about the team over there.
Alrighty, we shall do. Well, Robert Ekmans, thank you very much. Commiserations on the unfortunate premature end on your race, but good luck the rest of the season. Hope to see you in future seasons of Masters of Endurance.
Okay, guys, thank you very much, and see you hopefully next time. And have a good last few hours, or how many hours? It's now 9.
8 hours.
8 hours, yeah. So I hope you guys manage it, and I thank you guys for broadcasting and stuff like that. To all sponsors also, I think Blue Flag Racing is supporting this race, so I also want to thank them for this race.
Thank you for participating.
Yep, and thank you.
Okay, guys.
Get some rest.
Yeah, I need it, I think.
Yeah,
Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.
You too.
Well, did we miss anything while we were talking to the fine gentleman?
I think there was a couple pit stops. We saw driver change for Core Motorsports. Alexander Voss now back into the car. Been testing for Team Kimura, had a pit stop. And now we see Miguel Martin for Radicals Online 2 chasing down Mad Cow Racing 2. And I think there's about to be a position change right now. Yes, Mad Cow Racing 2 pretty much just giving that one up once they got side by side. Also a pit stop from Pure Racing Team 2. Noel Lundberg now into the car for them.
Working their 398th lap. Heading through Brussels.
Yeah, actually, word from their Facebook page that Lundberg will be doing a triple stint now.
Michael Booth is struggling. We thought we'd let you know that your race director is struggling. If anyone wants to come in TeamSpeak and sing to him, wake him up.
Just not on air. Sorry, you won't have that
Yeah, that's
ability.
fine. We'll let you into race control just to sing to him. Preferably out of tune and some annoying Justin Bieber song.
Oh, that's terrible.
We'll leave the channel mold. You do it. So.
Phoenix Motorsports currently in the pit lane. Just leaving the pits now, or leaving the pit stall now. Still have a long way to go in the pits before they're actually out. A lot of pit stops actually happening right now. We have Glacier Racing in the third position once again. They've actually dropped back about 20 odd seconds from Cohen Simsport last time we checked, which I believe was roughly an hour ago now. About the same part in all the pit stops. Same cycle, I should say.
Starting to get a few more good mornings in IRC. If any of you are just waking up, wiping the whatever it is that develops in a human's eyes while sleeping, wiping that out, good morning to you. Just ticked under 8 hours remaining in the 8th time that Masters of Endurance has run a 24-hour race. It is the 24 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps presented by Blue Flag Racing. John Palmer and Phil Diaz with you, trying to do our best to keep awake, toothpicks in our eyes and everything.
That would be a little painful.
Well, not like actually in the eyeball.
Got Pure Racing Team 1 currently in the pits. Interesting little thing here is Miguel Martin passed Mad Cow Racing 2, but he hasn't really pulled away too much. About a little under a second. Getting close to a half a second now after this draft. Mad Cow 2 currently actually in the top 10, 9th and 10th position. You see on screen.
Just so y'all know, Part 5 is still uploading and processing to YouTube, but it'll be on there very soon. You can watch almost everything we've done so far.
Did you see Mad Cow 2 currently go off track? Happy to say that we're over 2/3 of this race done. 2/3 doesn't even sound that much, actually. 1/3 of the race is still quite a bit of ways to go.
It's all 8 hours.
Yeah, it is actually.
We're literally we're pulling 3, you, me, and Boothie. Well, Boothie if he makes it. Literally, the 3 of us are pulling triple stints at work. Pulling a triple day at work. 3 back-to-back 8-hour shifts plus overtime. For the 2 hours before the race and the 2 hours after.
Oh,
I think we should take up a collection in the thread.
Mad Cow Racing 2 currently in the pits. I was blind earlier and I was looking at the number of pit stops they made, not the laps since they pit. I'd be wrong here, but it seemed like the Pure Racing #1 car had a pretty long pit stop there. Maybe they had some damage that they wanted to fix. Not quite sure. Seemed like a very long pit stop though. Also note, since Isaac Price and Andre Butcher has gotten into the cars for NX Racing Red and Coanda Simsport, gap to the lead has kind of raised up to 1 minute 40 seconds. However, interesting to note now, Coanda is actually 1 lap further stint lap wise than NX Racing Red. I believe. Actually, it might be the exact same lap.
Phil.
Yes.
Look at car 114 in the pit lane. In the back of that car. And the front of that car, technically.
Yeah, that car has been heavily demolished. It's actually been sitting in pit lane for a long time now. This is Vortex Sim Racing 2.
I was just flicking through the whole field, and I just saw that, and I was like, is there any bodywork, like, left on that car?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to them, but clearly it was a massive incident. Little note on a finish battle that's happening right now. Well, could turn into a finish battle. Timu Ivanen currently running down Jari Latari. Down to 8.5 seconds. Was at 11 not too long ago.
Oh, I see what happened to the Vortex Sim Racing number 114. They didn't go through Radion, right? They shunted very massively. Which is a simple way to wreck your car.
Yes.
So, have we got any more good MOE 24-hour stories?
How
about Chris Ford singing to try and stay away from TeamSpeak
No.
while he's driving? We went through that one.
For that. I wouldn't find that enjoyable, to be honest. I I would not. That would actually annoy me more than anything.
That's true.
Actually, probably the 24-hour race in 2011. I was driving for NX Racing in the GT1 class. We actually ended up winning that race by a whopping 15 seconds. I believe that the top three were separated by no more than 30 seconds. I'm not quite sure. Very, very close. And actually, I fell asleep in the later stages of the race. By later stages, I mean like 10 hours left in the race. I fell asleep, woke up right before the end, and I woke up just to see the final bit of the race. And us taking the victory. It was actually my only. Actually, that's my only victory in GT1. Was the 24-hour race.
The one thing that stands out for me from MOA, the 2008-2009 season 24-hour race, epic battle down to the last hour between Mercury Racing Ray Mooney and Johannes Schurle for Low Racing.
Yes, that was a good one. All the way down to the final pit stop, actually.
Yep.
They were within, I think they're less than 15 seconds in between them.
Well, and yeah, Schurle was, Low Racing was in the lead, and Mercury Racing, Ray Mooney was tearing down the gap piece by piece.
Yeah, he was basically the Enzo Benito of MOE back then. And he was definitely catching up. And then on the final pit stop, the most heartbreaking thing ever happened. Low Racing, everyone could see that they had pretty low tire wear in one of their front tires. And when they went to brake for the final time going into the pit lane, the tire popped. When it did, obviously with 3 tires you can't slow down as fast. And they actually slid through the pit entry and ended up getting caught for speeding. And yeah, that ended up ruining their potential race victory.
And also, if you remember the time that next lap when Low Racing served the drive-through, they were exiting the pit lane, and the pit lane exit where you let go of the speed limit is basically right at the start-finish line. That was when Ray Mooney and Mercury overtook Low. Mercury on track, Low coming out of pit lane. As Mooney was driving past the pit lane, he knew that Low was in there, and he honked his horn. Yes, LFS GTR cars have horns. That's another time, another place discussion there. But of course, Mooney, the subject of kind of obtained meme status, at least in our particular niche. I forget what season was, but Ray Mooney going off at turn 1 at the Aston Grand Prix circuit, which was always the LFS home for the MOA 24-hour race, and the commentary on that incident.
Yes, from all I know is from his LFS username Vicos. I can't remember his actual.
Joachim Fies, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that sounds actually pretty familiar. Yeah, when he goes off. Very popular situation, actually. Saw Team TTL just exit the pits. Dale Rich is in the car. Currently up to the 20th position, so they're back into the top 20 solidly. Also have, I believe this is, I know this. All-Star Racing Team 3. Daniel Hake. In the pits. We're actually going to see Vale Riches run down the number 59 of Pure Racing Team 3 here soon. Vale just came out of the pits while Pure Racing Team 3 have 7 laps on their tires. It's not that much, but I believe Vale is going to be able to run them down within the next 5 laps or so. NX Racing Red right on the back. of Team TTL.
Gap between NX and Coenda has increased to about minute 41. So I was just looking in the iRacing general discussion to see if there was any interesting chats going on. And I see the thread, iRacing Daytona 24 hours, are you going to participate? And someone saying he's running it solo. And then I just stopped reading at this post. So what do you suppose they'll do about it when the server crashes 18 hours in?
Yeah, a lot of people are extremely negative when it comes to endurance racing.
If it is a team session, they don't need as many instances of the session because you'll have multiple people in one car, and maybe just maybe that'll save the server from exploding.
Well, I think they said that because of the race spot 24 where the server crashed, but that server crashed simply because of the I believe it was the HPDs falling from the sky. Multiple happened at the same time.
Nice.
And what happened, I believe...
Oh, was that pit stop bug when the driver swap
Yes.
bug?
Yeah, so when multiple cars dropped from the sky at the exact same time, it ended up making the server crash, from what I believe. And that's been fixed, as well as the tow bug and driver swaps have been fixed. We haven't had any reports of that this race.
I thought I saw one on the forum, on the MLE forum. Like a 1 minute tow from, I think it was the Team TTL car.
Well, maybe it was then. I'd be quite surprised. I don't remember anybody getting that. Supposedly it didn't fix. That's the only reason I say it. We see the NX Racing blue car, and again, you know what's weird is where they're actually parked right next to that extremely damaged car you spoke about earlier. But it seems like they're pitting early. I'm not sure why they're doing this, but they're only doing 24 lap stints, so I guess they're okay with pitting an extra time and just trying to go for pure speed.
I'm writing a tweet at this moment with another IGP coupon code for free 2 years of...
Free 1 year.
Or free 1 year of 2D. There we go. I almost said a free 2 years of 1D, which would not have gone well.
Or made any sense whatsoever. Timu even in staying in the car, doing a double stint for NX Racing Blue. Mentioned Core Motorsports having driver change, Alexander Voss stepping in the car. Well, this is actually him in the car now. Since pit stops are never ending right now, we're actually going to do a run through the field. You'll see at the bottom of the screen, NX Racing Red currently in the lead. 1 minute 41 seconds ahead of Coanda Simsport, who are then about almost 2 minutes ahead of Glacier Racing Team in third with Ford GT. See Virgil Racing back in 7th. 13th position you see Vortex Sim Racing. They've had a pretty up and down day, same as Phoenix Motorsport in 14th. Number 91, Team TTL. Once again, another team that's had a pretty up and down day. They're back on the way up from where they were, which is pretty close to the 30th position. Dream Factory has slowly been moving their way up the field, actually. All-Star Racing team. An
Green
incident
Factory had
where
a
moving back.
disconnect, I believe it's dropping back.
Yes. You see Flux Racing in 42nd position. They're now retired from the race after an incident. And then everyone from 45th on back, actually pretty much 42nd on back really. The two cars in 43rd and 44th are so damaged that I don't think they'll be able to drive anymore. So all these cars you see here are retired, including 52nd position Team Red Line. The GT Ross cars, number 112 and 113, 51st and 53rd, also retired. Rick Racing Team pitting actually now. See them here. Danilo Jacobs currently in the car. See the tires currently changing. Should be dropping and driving off very shortly.
Does seem like everyone did fairly quickly get used to the driver swap procedure.
Yeah, it's actually not that confusing, really. You just, once you go in the pits, you just exit your way out of the car, and then the next person goes and jumps into it. I'd say it's pretty simple. Probably extremely complicated on iRacing's end, but pretty simple on our end.
So iRacing joining the, I guess you could say few number of sims with relatively simple driver swaps.
Yeah, Lift for Speed still has probably the most simplest system, or factor. Some would say probably the viable system, but this iRacing one is pretty good. Now that it's actually, working more than 80% properly, it's a nice move forward.
Of course, when iRacing did finally introduce driver swaps, it did kind of take away the one thing that LFS had going for it still.
Yes, that is very true.
Which is kind of sad to say considering how long it was the Masters of Endurance home. But, as always happens, times do change.
I think it's a good change as well. You see, you have real tracks here, real cars. Well, some would question that with the roof and Ford GT3. But
it's a simulation. It's fun.
It's, yeah, more real cars. Let's go with that. We have Glacier Racing currently in the pits. Rolling through now. Alexander Voss should be coming up any time now. Here he is to pass into the third position. Curious to see what ends up happening between Glacier Racing, who now has Alexia Loma in the car, and then Timo Ivonen in X Racing Blue. Interesting to see what will happen between those two. And X Racing Blue pitting a few laps earlier. Possibly trying to do some form of undercut there. Team currently driving down the front straight here, going into La Source. Alexia Loma has not taken off yet. Should be any time now. Nope. Team moving in, so we'll be in the 4th position.
Glacier Racing has disappeared and reappeared.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
Did they get a bug? Did they get something else?
Not quite sure.
It's not on the jacks, it's just sitting there.
If they did get a bug, I know in Suzuka there was a bug for the number 45 car where no one could actually drive the car. It was kind of just stuck and oh no, here they go now.
Or did they maybe have damage repair to do?
Possibly that. Just got it over with. They remained in the 5th position. Pretty big gap to 6th. Oh, actually, no, not a big gap to 6th. 6th is coming up Eau Rouge right now. And big gaggle of cars, as you can see here. Coanda Simsport, R4R Motorsports, Virgil Racing, who is the 6th position. Virgil Racing now 15 laps into their stint. Coanda Simsport 16, so maybe Alexia Loma can stay in front of them. I believe he can. I think sooner or later the optional repairs kind of add up, and sooner or later you're going to need to fix that by, well, fixing the repairs.
Fix it by fixing it?
Yeah.
It's late. Or early, however you want to say it.
Yeah, 3:30. Should have some help from Europeans soon, hopefully. Wake us up just by having them a little more awake than us.
Yeah.
Little battle here for position. However, I don't think it's going to last too long. I believe Cracks Racing Team just came out of the pits. Yes, CTC Racing 2 are on extremely old tires, so we won't be seeing any overtaking here as I go into a yawning state.
Yawn. Wonder if
That's
yawns
not
are
good.
contagious via TeamSpeak.
Well, clearly you didn't yawn, so I would say no.
Well, not yet.
Actually, CTC Racing 2 haven't really dropped back here. Could make a run, never know. Currently have the draft.
CTC Racing 2, 21 laps since their last pit stop.
Cracks Racing Team pretty much have just stopped. Whoa, very close there, low contact, right in front of Iberica Racing. They do not want to see that. Same as Core Motorsports, not far behind them. See Cracks Racing Team just simply letting the two roofs by. They're currently in the 3rd and 7th position. Core Motorsports, that purple and orange looking car. It's currently in third. Just about halfway through their stint, so they still have quite a while to go. See now Cracks Racing Team trying to get back in there with CTC Racing 2. They do have the newer tires after all. Decided to sit up in my chair a little bit, wake myself up, kind of slouching down a little bit, and that makes myself way too comfortable. So now I'm going to have to sit in a very uncomfortable manner to try to stay awake here.
Sitting on a rock solid chair that you can't relax in.
Yes, with my legs crossed. That's actually what I'm doing right now. Let's see, we have Dream Factory. Trying to run down Infinity Esports. Dream Factory though on 4-lap older tires. I think they're just hoping they can get Infinity Esports just on pure pace.
Oh, in IRC, Glacier Yari Lotari says R toe bug.
Well, can't talk about that anymore.
Cost them 40 seconds.
It wasn't making much sense, and now I see why. See Virgil Racing stuck in between these two cars here on stream. Go inside the Dream Factory number 90 McLaren.
So while things are still fairly quiet, watching from the Dream Factory car, Alex Adrisana Garcia at the wheel of that.
Actually had a little moment there. A couple corners ago now. Ooh, running really wide there. The extra Puhan. Can't really claim that's faster, but interesting situation there. think the Infinity Esports now, or the car now, is getting back into its rhythm.
Joe Littorello, just about 15 minutes ago, tweeting, "Gotta go for Fast Motorsports, looking good in the 24-hour." Hashtag IRMOE, hashtag I hate Jack, hashtag where's NX Blue.
Oh my goodness. Joe Letterello clearly joking there with his race for Gotta Go Fast Motorsports the first 2 rounds, but they don't have enough drivers here for the 24-hour race, so therefore they did not race.
He's at work right now, I believe, also. And if he's wondering where NX Blue is right now, they are coming out of Curve Paul Frere on the run to Blanchimont with Timo Ivinen, who was in channel earlier.
And currently in the 4th position. Oh, actually have another battle. I didn't even see this. Even though it's directly behind the car we were watching, Dream Factory. But Iberica Racing Team has somehow gotten right onto the back of Virgil Racing. Iberica with nice fresh tires. By fresh I mean 6 laps old. Virgil on the other hand have 19 lap old tires. Close to at least a second difference there. Iberica Racing currently possibly on a little late charge here. Oh, we see Virgil racing sideways and somehow saving that.
Iberica looking hungry up the inside.
Yeah, Virgil's just going to give that position up. Maybe going to use the draft here to try to get back, but I highly doubt it though. Such a difference with tire life right now. Gonna jump on board Andre Butcher, going into SimSport, currently in the 2nd position. We see the gaps now 1:44 seconds. I believe the gap down to the 3rd position now is definitely a lap, possibly even 2 laps between 1st and 3rd. I think it's only 1 lap actually. IRTV just hasn't updated properly. Another car making some moves now is Vortex Sim Racing. Slowly catching Pure Racing Team. Both of them in McLarens. Vortex Sim Racing getting a little help by back marker there, who just moved out of the way.
That All-Star Racing Team 2 car that went him by, looking all sorts of through the wars.
Ooh, a little hard to speak right now. Every time I go to, I yawn. Yeah, so Vortex Sim Racing slowly been gaining this whole stint on the Pure Racing Team 1 car ahead. Just been watching them on and off the stint. Haven't actually been watching them on stream necessarily, just watching the gap. Now you can see Vortex Sim Racing within a second of Pure Racing Team 1. Definitely be getting their draft now. And as you can see up ahead, they're catching a lot of traffic. Look like the Phoenix Motorsports 2 car just letting by Vortex Sim Racing there. That might have been the second Vortex Sim Racing car. Just want to note also that even though Vortex is catching Pure Racing Team 1, Pure Racing Team 1's also catching Phoenix Motorsports, so we could have a 3-car battle here soon. See Team TTL just ahead here. They're currently listed in the 19th position. Haven't really moved up too much since we last spoke about them. That GTRS just ahead. They also letting cars by. Another car there giving room.
Yep. Lapping behavior, at least right now, seeming fairly appropriate.
Now we have basic clear runnings here for Phoenix Motorsports, Pure Racing Team 1, and Vortex Sim Racing. It's getting bad now. I'm too tired to actually pronounce team names. All three of these cars driving McLarens. Oh, it looks like Pure Racing Team 1 has a huge run on Phoenix Motorsports. Wow, we actually saw, whoa, a huge move there by Vortex Sim Racing. Jose Almeida for Phoenix Motorsports just went from 13th to 15th now. Why they lost 2 positions like that?
That was I would kind of classify it as kind of a cheeky follow through.
I don't blame him though. I mean, Phoenix Motorsports was just so so much slower that it was pretty easy for Vortex Sim Racing to slide by. Now we have another situation stirring up here. Vortex Sim Racing now on the back of Pure Racing Team 1.
Once again, Pure Racing Team 1 with about 6 lap older tires than Vortex Sim Racing.
I don't know if you noticed it from the onboard, that when Vortex Sim Racing turned in, you could actually see their car step out just a little bit. And a save had to be made, lost a little bit of time, and Blanchimont. Curious to see if Vortex can actually challenge Pure Racing Team 1 now. Pure Racing's been pretty consistent on their tires later in the stint. Haven't really dropped off massively like we've seen at other teams.
Here you see the Uber backfire on the MP4.
Yeah, pretty much happening every single time they let off the throttle. While that car is a spit-firing machine, I don't think it really is that much. Some people have spoke about that. Now for the second time, I'm going to say Simon Cattell better be going to bed. It's 4 a.m. my time, which means it's 9 a.m. his time. Better he's doing an all-nighter, which is not very healthy for him. People who do all-nighters just, they have no sense. Right?
What? Sorry, what?
What? Yeah, see what I mean? See what I mean?
I was trying. I was telling Oscar Hardwick to wake up.
No, I was gonna say that people who do all-nighters just have no sense.
And I gave you perfect up. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. The struggle is real for the all-nighter crew. Does Vortex have a draft?
And here we go. Pretty easy pass there. Have I missed something here? Or is this just an early pit stop? Must be an early pit stop for Isaac Price that's caused this. Yes. He has exited the pits, and now Kai and Simsport have entered the pits. And because of that, they look as if they were roughly 15 seconds apart, when in reality they're still a pit stop apart. So that kind of freaked me out for a second. Didn't know what was going on there with our race leader.
Basically what had happened was 27 laps had passed and we just didn't totally realize it.
Yeah, that's true. Time has been going by pretty quickly, which is good for us, because we are getting tired up here in the booth. Need to have our British commentators come back and we can kind of sit back and take a little rest.
As in not speak for the last 4 hours of the race.
Yes. We have Vincenzo Amico getting back into the Radicals Online 2 car. We also have Virgil racing into the pits. Driver swap from them. Radicals Online 2 pulling away. Anytime now we'll also see Coanda Simsport pulling away. Andre Butcher's going to be doing another stint. Just want to note that we were talking about 430 laps for roughly 70% of the race. That number is coming up extremely soon. If it already hasn't come up.
Give it about 6 laps. They're on that 424 at the moment.
Yes. Some drivers a little less than others. Yeah, leaders are on lap 424. I think next year when we do this, we need to hire a night crew. That'd be great stuff. Just saw a pass for position. Or, yes, it was. Jonathan Buttel just nicely letting by the All-Star Racing 3 team.
Phil,
Yeah.
shall we give away another IGP code?
Yes, we should.
To the 200 plus people watching right now, if you know what IGP Manager is and you have an account or want to create one very quickly, igpmanager.com. Get ready to enter this code in with your account at igpmanager.com/special. And it'll get you a free year of the 2D viewer, which is basically all that IGP Manager is to be the best thing in the world. This hour's code is on your screen. E1DD5. E1DD5. IGPmanager.com/special. First in wins. An IGP, we never have to stay awake for 24 hours to do an IGP race.
That'd be cool. I'm totally gonna tell Jack Bassford to do this. He needs to make one that simulates Le Mans or even GT3 racing. It's all one class.
Push 5, 24 hours, go to sleep.
Ah, so much burn up tires. Be disgusting. Team Kimura actually has been in the pits for a while here. I believe this is a scheduled pit stop. It's just taking a little bit long here. I know as soon as we switch, bin testing will take off for them. And there he goes. Just want to note that after Pure Racing Team let Vortex Sim Racing by, I say let, Vortex Racing got a good run down Kimmel Straight and got past. But since then, Pure Racing Team's just pretty much rode right on their bumper. Another overtake we're about to see. You see the slow fins BMW just slowed down there, led by AB Racing Silver's Yao Pinho. Now we're going to see him run up to the back of Jonathan Butel. Should see an overtake here extremely shortly. So you're going to see one right here. Got Noel Lundberg for Pure Racing Team 2 currently pitting. We heard that he was actually going to be doing a triple stint. So I believe that was only his first of 3.
Phil.
Yes.
So Scott Michaels, remember what lap he started his stint on? 261.
261, yeah.
Do you know what lap he finished his stint at? Don't look.
I do not.
416.
Wow.
Like,
It's over 150 laps. Straight.
Yerp. It's 155. Let's just multiply that by 143 seconds for a 2-minute 23 average lap. That's 22,000 seconds. That is basically, he was in the car for 6.25 hours. 6 hours and 10 minutes, thereabouts.
You're a disgusting human being, Scott Michaels. I don't know how you're able to do that.
If you're still alive at this point, we'd like to hear from you. And hear how much you slur your words. And how your hands are destroyed.
Probably not even English.
Something like that.
Basically what you sound like when you whisper me.
Yari Lotari tweeted 23 minutes ago saying, some 6 hours and 15 minutes of driving for me and yet more to come. Hashtag my wrists hurt already. Hashtag slow but steady.
Yeah, that's definitely true there, the slow but steady part. I wouldn't even really say slow, but I considered his teammate Alexei Loma definitely slower than him. Not really an insult per se, but just, you know,
what we've observed. However, he has been very, very steady, very consistent. So if anything, he's not really losing that much per stint. He's not making mistakes. I think I've just made a deal with myself. After this race, I will be going to sleep.
Yep. Close out streaming PC as quickly as possible. Get the streams uploaded. Get links to people as quickly as possible. And zonk.
Yep. So just a heads up to all you racers and viewers and team managers and stuff out there. If you want to get in touch with us after the race, it might be a few hours maybe until we respond.
Or a day or two.
It's not gonna be too long, but it'll be quite a few hours. I know that I'm going to be pretty much dead to the world. I'm going to be sleeping all during the day, and that's going to be terrible, but I'm going to have to live with it.
Well, see, it's bad right now, Phil, at least for me, because it's 4 a.m., pitch black outside. But when the sun starts coming up and light starts coming in the window, it kind of lifts the spirits.
Yeah. However, looking at my window right now, it is dark outside.
Yeah.
So, need some help there with that. Alexander Voss got into his pit stall, just exited his pit. Well, sorry, not exited his pit stall. Exited his car. Niels Koch just got in for Core Motorsports, and will be driving next. Just want to note that any team that is currently still running right now and isn't more than 10 laps down or so, they have most likely clinched the 70% of driving for points. That is good for them. Allows them to score some points this round, which, by the way, is double points due to its extremely long nature. So you win big or you lose big out of something like this. We see Core Motorsports exiting the pit lane right now. Going to be roughly 5 seconds behind Glacier Racing for the 4th position.
So, top 2 cars still on the lead lap.
The top 2 on the lead? Yes, they are.
Everyone else is a lap or more down.
Yeah. Once again, stunning pace by both NX Racing Red and Coanda SimSport. I don't know if Coanda had the same pace that they had at the beginning of the race. Because it was actually interesting because we saw Coanda pull away from NX Racing Red at the beginning before their incident.
If this were one of my events, there'd probably have been a safety car just because of a wreck. And just the safety car restart excites things. That's not why I call safety cars. Don't worry.
You just heard it here, folks. That is a NASCAR official you just heard.
Nope.
Is that
Okay.
debris out there? Still caution.
Okay. Yari Lotari. No. You're not sharing that image again.
Oh goodness.
He's trying to lull us.
How sweet.
The picture he posted in the IRC is how basically all three of us here in TeamSpeak with you, including the voiceless Michael Booth, would be in about how much longer is left in this race?
7 hours, and let's say 30 minutes. We're probably gonna have quite a bit of interviews, and we have to set up, close everything up afterwards. Close shop, basically, for this round. I think everyone, though, after this race is going to have a nice nap, kind of just relax a little bit, have a little smile on their face, what they've accomplished.
Well, I don't know about smile, but
Well, it matters what team you are. Let's put it that way. We're currently getting sleeping panda bears linked to us.
Michael Booth is saying coffee. If I had any coffee in this house,
Yeah. Coffee's not needed right now. Another battle is I can't believe I keep forgetting this. All-Star Racing Team 3 and AB Racing Silver. Currently a little battle on track here. AB Racing Silver looks like they have this easily. They do.
All-Star Racing Team 3, 21 laps since last stop. That's 10 laps later than AB Racing Silver.
So anyway, still just see the Pure Racing team car I'm just riding behind Vortex Sim Racing. Don't know if the McLaren can actually save a lap of fuel or not. Another little battle going on between the 3 and the 77. I believe that this battle has already kind of took its own shape. The 3 car passing the 77. However, they kind of was trying to make a move back. For a second there, I completely zoned out. See the 102 car just taking off from their pits now. That's Mad Cow Racing 2. Currently in the 12th position. Doing a pretty good job there. I also see Core Motorsports, about 4 seconds back from Alexia Loma and Glacier Racing. That gap has shrunk massively since the tow bug that Glacier Racing received. I would say also that Core Motorsports is catching Glacier Racing.
If anyone's keeping score at home, it is BMW top 3.
Yeah, something many teams probably weren't expecting. They definitely weren't expecting a Ford GT to be in 4th as well. But it happened.
If anyone of the European part of the world is waking up and wondering what happened to Redline, why are they not in the top of the timesheet? Well, Enzo crashed, and the team retired.
Well, it's just Enzo. It was also Alexei Yusuyak, not even an hour before that, also having a huge off in Eau Rouge. I think probably because of that, Enzo was pushing a little bit harder than what he should have been. And, well, I suppose he got taken out by a lapped car.
Maybe, possibly.
Don't worry, guys. We have another little battle besides this one that you saw on track. But guess what? It's another pure racing car. Glacier
They're just
also
all
get
over.
into the mix. Well, they do have 3 cars, so yeah, they pretty much all are all over red. It'll be 1 in each sector.
Let me guess. It's a battle broken up by a Ford GT.
Yes. Now that the Ford GT of Glacier Racing have gotten past. Oh, here we go. Pure Racing Team 2 around the outside of our Ferrari. Possibly. Yes. Move there was for the final spot in the top 10. Again, though, we barely under 7 hours to go.
That last hour just drug on and on.
Now you're looking at the time too much.
No, I
gotta-
haven't even looked at the time at all.
Just
Okay,
gotta focus on the cars.
I haven't been looking at the time, but that's only because I've been telling Oscar what time it is. I've been messaging him.
Marlboro Motorsport still kind of fighting a little bit with All-Star Racing Team 1. I think it's too much of a fight now. They're kind of just following, riding with. A little shout out to Team TTL, currently in the pits. We're pitting from the 17th position, if I saw that correctly. Dream Factory just behind. Not 4th position though. Also have Racemore Kraut Racing, or Racemore Kraut Racing. Should be exiting the pits now. Christian Schick.
Well, we have received salvation for a minute. Someone we can talk to. The real Slim JB is his nickname. It is Jonathan Butel. Mr. Butel, also known as Mr. Lamont. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi guys.
Have you been up all night?
No, absolutely not. That's probably the 24 hours race I follow the last. I just had my regular night, and I just did my double since at the moment. Just now, it's over now, and the guys finished the race.
Oh, so you're not going to be running anymore for the rest of this race?
Yeah, it's over for me. I didn't feel much confident in the McLaren, so I'm sort of glad it's over.
Is it just setup, or is it the McLaren itself? Do you not like the little twitchiness that it has, or the?
Yeah, it's basically this, yeah. Well, this time I've been racing without Kevin, so I'm just racing with pro guys, and I consider myself as a gentleman driver. And yeah, they have a setup that is not that bad. I didn't feel safe until that last stint, where I could push the car a little bit more. Still, I'm quite up the pace compared to them. My very fastest lap was a 21.3, I think. And they are able to go under the 20s regularly.
Just more about consistency more than anything. Not getting into any incidents or anything like that.
Yes. Yes. Well, 40-45, I'm sorry for the commentators, but the race has been pretty boring so far. Again. But
Yeah, we noticed.
yeah, sadly, you could have got one of the guys from the sister car, the 44, which had a pretty eventful race early on before they retired. I think they probably had all the trouble you can guess.
Yeah, I was reading a nice post about different things that went wrong for them. Looked like quite a bit.
Yes, and they retired like 10 hours ago. They retired 10 hours ago with a final. Well, there was a McLaren, an Argentinian McLaren crashing in front of them at Moshimo, and they just couldn't avoid the car and just went back suddenly on the track. That was it for them.
So how is this race compared? I know this is a stupid question for me to ask you. How is this race compared to another certain 24-hour race that you enjoy?
Slightly different, but on the virtual side, it's the best you can get.
No, I was just wondering, like, I've been asking people, it's not multi-class, however, you have 60 cars, not everyone's going to be the same speed, so how is it really in traffic and whatnot, managing traffic from cars that are technically in the same class as you?
For me, it's a bit easier than everyone else because I only get past. I don't pass much. For real, during my 4 hours drive, I passed like 5 cars, and yeah, even if it's the same class, it's pretty easy to let pass people. I've only been bombed like 2 or 3 times, and not that much when you see how many times you get past. So it's pretty easy, yeah. But again, that's because I'm not that fast, and it makes things easier.
Well, that's good. Speaking of that certain 24-hour race, we're actually planning on possibly going there. Well, quite a few of us on TeamSpeak
Yes.
thought about possibly going to the 24-hour Le Mans this year.
Then you have to ask me first. That's it, no?
What are you, the gatekeeper?
And before we actually see him at the gate.
Of course, the more the merrier. I hope you guys can do it. I know Michael Booth's asking me the question about trying to have some information, and I'll be glad if I can help. Well, last year I had the pleasure to receive 2 guys who are in that race currently, Peter Ridley on the 46 and my friend Rens Brockman, which is on the 18. And I like to believe that they had a good time.
Yeah, I want to go. Obviously, it's a pretty long flight and everything for me. I was going to try to stay pretty much the whole week, at least from Wednesday to Sunday, and try to enjoy everything. But we'll see how that is. We're trying to get a bunch of people to go and try to camp out there, and be a good time if we can get that to happen.
Speaking of Renz, he is also in the channel with us from Galactus.
Oh.
Renz, welcome.
Hi guys, good morning. Or good night for you guys, I guess.
We'll go with good morning. It's
No, it's
4:25
technically
in the
morning. It's 4:24.
Yeah, we
Alright,
saw.
that's
Just want to say we saw on stream the 45 car just got hit. Looks like they have wheel damage. Car is definitely not tracking straight right now. It's wobbling all over the place. Hopefully Tim is careful about getting back to the pits.
So Renz, JB just mentioned that you went to Le Mans with him.
Yeah.
Is he as good a guy as he pretends to be in TeamSpeak?
Yes, he is actually. He gave us a wonderful tour one day around the whole track, and it was just amazing. And great to hear the insights from one of the locals, basically.
Does he actually have that much knowledge, or does he secretly like carry around a little Le Mans encyclopedia?
I haven't seen the encyclopedia, so I think he actually knows it all. So.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
If he wears glasses, maybe he's got those glasses that
Google Glass.
Google Glass, yeah.
I don't believe he does, though.
I think it's all genuine knowledge.
Rens better say good things about me, because he still want to get sent next year, so you know.
Well, the problem with Le Mans, it is highly addictive. I will be definitely there next year again if everything goes to plan.
So Ren's currently looking at your car, the Commanda SimSport car. How's y'all's race gone? I know you had the incident at the beginning of the race with the back marker, but apart from that, how has the race gone for you guys?
Well, since that it's going alright, I guess. We had to save some fuel to get back on the same pit strategy basically as IMAX Red. And yeah, everything went according to plan after the incident. But the incident obviously messed the race up a bit.
Yeah, that's definitely well, it looked like it was going to be a huge blow to you guys, but you're able to get back to the pits and use one of the fast repairs to basically put you guys back into this race.
Yeah, luckily it didn't cost us as much as it normally would have. But yeah, it's always nice to stay out of trouble, especially in the early hours.
Now, are you guys, since I believe you've matched NX Racing Red's pit strategy now, are you guys going to continue to save fuel and possibly try to short pit at the end or something like that to close the gap?
I'm not sure. I think the gap is simply too big to try anything like IMAX Red. It's even more than a pit stop difference, so I don't think it's any use to save. So I guess we're winning flat out.
Okay, I was trying to figure that out. If you guys, once you've matched, their pit strategy, if you guys are just going to go flat out and try to gain time that way, or what? Because I mean, you guys have been almost matching their pace, just saving fuel. So I was wondering if you guys were holding something in there, could go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what they're doing at the moment. But I don't think there's much need to save more, at least. So.
And how are your stints? I know you had the late night stints for
Yeah.
Coanda.
I done the middle of the night and the very early morning. That are my stints, my only stints.
I was gonna ask the same thing I asked JB. How was traffic? I know it's one class, but over the course of a 24-hour race, people are a little lenient and everything. So, how was traffic overall?
Well, I got in the car quite a few hours into the race already, so I don't think it was as hectic as it was early on. But I don't have much problem with it. It actually helped me a little bit because I needed to save fuel during my stints.
Oh, that makes sense actually. Yeah.
So I could just under the draft and stuff like that. Just need to stay out of trouble from now on, basically.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's goal now. It's been really quiet for the past, I almost want to say 3 hours. Fields spread out quite a bit, even though I see that Core Motorsports and Glacier Racing are getting a little bit closer. But besides that, the field's pretty much spread out. So tough for us to commentate actually, because it's not many battles going on, but we're just kind of having to find interviews and talk about some different stories and also what's going on with certain teams in this race.
Just get me started with Le Mans. You'll have like 3 hours broadcast for sure.
Well, start.
Yeah, we need some energy right now. We're actually still waiting on the British commentators to pop back in.
It's probably tea time for him.
Would Boothie is asking, would the Daytona prototypes actually take flight at Le Mans if they race there?
That's a very good question. But you want to answer, really?
But no, there's no way Daytona prototypes come to Le Mans first. Yeah, Michael is talking about the crash that happened in practice at Daytona yesterday or today.
He says today, but he means yesterday. Clearly, he's just been up all night.
I think that was related to a suspension failure that basically started and left the front of the car. I think any car that's traveled 200 miles an hour, when you get air under the car in the front, it just happened like the Toyota like 3 years ago at Le Mans. Nothing you can do really, it's just become a wing. But yeah, there's no way that Daytona prototypes come and race at Le Mans because they're not up to the safety standards that are usual here. And we've seen, sadly, 2 years ago that even with the carbon cell safety, death can still happen. So it's not the direction the AC or the Le Mans organizer are taking, and they won't make a step back with anything but carbon cell life cell cars.
Yeah, we saw last year Mimo Gidley, the Daytona prototype, I believe it's the Gainsco car, just completely destroyed after the collision with the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I didn't. A few people have been saying on iRacing forum that you should be thankful to the safety of these cars and everything, but I'm not in agreement. It's basically a lot of luck because
those things look like death traps in the front. There's nothing to them at all. Actually, I have some pictures. I have some pictures from when I went to Daytona, and I tried to get close-ups of the front of the cars and everything. Just nothing existed. It didn't even look like they're really secure in the car at all.
That's it.
Wasn't it last year's Rolex 24 that had Mimo Gidley's crash?
Wow, you were not listening 30 seconds ago, were you?
I was totally not awake.
Yeah, now you guys have to see how tired we are right now. But
you guys should try and make the next race next 24 hours race sponsored by Red Bull, Monster Energy or something.
No, what we need to do is split it up to where we're not the only ones having to sit here and worry about the broadcast. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, we need more people that are
Okay,
capable
so
of
That
operating
or-
equipment.
That,
Why is it-
or I can win the lottery and pay for Race Spot to broadcast the 24-hour race.
That way, me and Phil can just sleep.
Well, no, me, you, and Boothie can take turns adminning and having some sleep. I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, sleep will be good soon. Of course, if this were the real Le Mans or Rolex 24, one, you couldn't sleep for the noise, and two, you wouldn't want to sleep for the noise because it's just kind of fun being there for a ride, right?
Did you really say Le Mans Rolex 24?
I
Did he?
was. I
Or
think
did
I,
he
I
put
think I
them
kind
together, I
of mumbled
think.
an or in there.
Oh, you can sleep at the moment.
Well, that's true.
Still feels
Didn't-
like the cars are going through your tent, but
Well,
That's exactly
that might
yeah.
be comforting.
I promise you I can go to sleep to that. That's not a problem at all. If I'm tired enough, it actually is rather easy.
There was a year, I think it was 2004 at Le Mans, where I was with a friend. I was not 18 yet. We just slept next to the re-acceleration after the Mulsanne corner, which is one of the most noisy places. We just put sleeping bags and we slept like 10 meters from the track. At least we tried to. But yeah, it was a bit special, but we can do it. The Corvette C5R vibration didn't help, actually.
Oh, you know you love that deep sound roaring by you.
Yeah, amazing.
The ones
It's-
the ones that would bother me is the Ferraris. They just scream now, so loud.
Yes, it almost hurt. But if we have to talk about the sound of modern sports cars, and I'm quite sad that I could only make Grand Discover Le Mans this last year, because I've been there from 1996 as a spectator, and the sound reduction has been dramatically high these last years, and even if the Ferrari 458 still looks like they sound really high, it's nothing like what it used to be. And it's also sad that they're giving up on big engine like V10s and V12s. That used to be really amazing.
Well, my ears are kind of happy that they went down a little bit because those Ferraris are still quite loud.
Yes, that's true.
Currently in an odd situation here. Renz, you probably, I don't know if you've had this situation or not, when you're on old tires and a car behind you, which, let's say he's only a lap behind you, so he's still in the top 10. They have fresh tires, so they're trying to pass you.
well, if it was me, I would just let them go.
Yeah, that's what
At the
Virgil
moment, they're
Racing just
faster,
did.
so,
Yeah, that's what Virgil Racing just did with Vortex Sim Racing and also Pure Racing Team. Just wondering if it seemed kind of awkward to have that happen or not.
Well, it is, and you really don't want them to get past, but at the same time, it can actually help you. Even if it's only by not being in your mirror.
Yeah, I guess it would be the draft when you guys were in the midst of saving fuel.
Yep.
Also saw that Martin Kronk just rejoined the server, so I'm guessing he is going to be one of the ones who are pushing the end of the race.
Yeah, they will win towards the end of the race. Not sure
Is
who's
it good?
next. Either Marcus Lenderman or Klaus Kiewicz.
I was going to actually ask if Klaus also was going to be running.
Yep.
Assuming him and Martin got some sleep.
I think only me and Marcus were the ones that were awake during the night.
Jorn Jens acted like he was doing an all-nighter, but has he actually? Haven't seen any word from him in a while.
Well, he's been away for a while. Not not sure if he slept.
I'm gonna say slept.
I
Can't
think
believe
it.
it. Yeah, if you go away, I think you're gonna sleep. It's just the normal rule of it. Actually, this is a battle for position on screen here between Vortex Sim Racing and Pure Racing Team 1. Currently in TeamSpeak chat, we have Michael Booth and Jonathan Butel basically talking up a whole bunch of GT history.
I'm just afraid to annoy you guys.
Oh no, that's fine. Any noise is better than no noise.
No, but really, we're actually trying to figure out a way of going to Le Mans this year, and
I think if you start now, and it's gonna be quite cheap if you start swimming through the Atlantic, and you should be there for June.
that would definitely be the cheaper route if I survive. Doing it that way.
Just
yes.
go drive up to just go drive to Newfoundland or something and float across on an iceberg.
Don't think that'll work either. Can't control an iceberg, unfortunately.
Hey, if you get a big enough paddle.
If I get Glacier Racing, maybe that'll help me.
Yeah, that might help, yeah.
But if you guys ever get the chance to go to Le Mans, it's definitely a good.
I just want to clarify that I won't be going to Le Mans in 2015 because I'm a poor broke American.
I just have to do it. It's one of those things on the bucket list that just needs to be done.
I sort of have the same thing, and I wish I can go to Le Mans or Sebring 12 hours once.
I'll trade you up. I'll go to Le Mans and you have to go to Sebring, since that's not far from me at all.
It's just sad that I'm doing that too late now that the ALMS is over. But well, I still have to do that.
Yeah, doing it during ALMS, also when Audi and stuff used to come, that was probably the best time to go.
Yes, definitely. I'm just afraid that if I do it now, tell the wife I go to the United States without her, it's gonna be difficult.
You can tell her to come. She just have to watch some racing.
That's the problem. If she come, I won't see much racing.
Oh, well, I do want to tell you that in Sebring, there's literally nothing but the racetrack. Literally nothing.
It's sad that Michael Booth cannot talk. He has some pretty good idea.
Yes. 5 hours of 12 in hospitality.
That's true. Last year was the first year for the Tudor United Sports Car, and yes, at the beginning of the season, the caution were pretty ridiculous, and I think they're going in the right direction. Yeah, they're going in the right direction. I think lately, but it's. I'm not a big fan of it. At least it's a GT racing to make for it. The prototype racing is basically you try to make two different conceptions of prototypes race together, and it's not working.
Yep, I agree completely.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, yeah.
So that
Just
pass
saw-
for the 13th position. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Between Vortex Sim Racing and Pure Racing Team. See, we're actually waking up, guys, by you guys talking to us. Thanks
No,
for
we're
that.
not. Well, you might.
I am. Heck, I haven't ate anything in a little while now. Needing some water here soon. Outside of that, though, I'm pretty wide awake. Got some energy. I'm ready to go. I say this, but I'm really extremely tired and I'm about to fall asleep any moment.
You're hanging on.
Well, just 6 hours to go, you know.
Yeah, just,
about
just the normal 6-hour race left.
Just pretend you just woke up and you're up for a 6 hours race.
It was actually the first race. I did something really stupid. I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to actually admin the race. We had the whole beautiful qualifying procedure and all that, the grading procedure, which went interesting for the first round, 5 a.m. in the morning for me.
Yep.
So then I went the entire race every single time I went to go get food, something would happen on the track. End up, I didn't even get to eat anything in the 12 hours. So next thing you know, it's like 7 p.m. and I needed food. I felt like I had basically got extremely lightheaded. So couldn't do that this race. So I packed basically a camping site in my room. Doing some Spa-Francorchamps camping right now. Had some sandwiches and whatnot here. Actually, I've ran out now, so I'm kind of in trouble.
See, you underpacked.
Yeah, I wasn't
so-
expecting it.
You might not be prepared for Le Mans, man.
What do I even need to pack for Le Mans? See, that's the thing. I was just gonna pack like a duffel bag full of clothes and a camera, and that's it, and a toothbrush.
You know, it's actually a lot of Englishmen which has the biggest foreigners population at Le Mans. They just come up with basically what you said, crazy cars and tents, but then they all go to the supermarket and buy everything they need for the week.
Yeah, a tent and a sleeping bag, I guess would be it.
Yeah.
I'm not carrying that on a plane, so it'd just be a duffel bag for clothes and a camera.
No, I think Rens was well prepared, and Peter Ridley, that is racing on the 46 right now, was also quite prepared. But yeah, plenty of people are just, you know, they come there and then they deal with it. It's pretty interesting. I think Rens can talk about it much better because I'm used to it. He wasn't, but the melting pot is between the different people coming to Le Mans in different countries. It's a pretty amazing atmosphere.
I was reading up a lot of the camping areas, a lot of UK people.
Well, Jonathan was the only Frenchman on the campsite.
Yes, we this time we were using a private campsite, which is managed by Englishmen. They basically rent a house next to the Porsche corner, and they let people camp on the field. It's a quiet campsite, so you cannot go there and party all night. And basically it was all Englishmen before we did that with Peter, myself, and Rens and one of his friends. So I was the only French, and Rens and the other guy from Netherlands we were the only non-English on the field.
Oh man, wonder what they're going to think when they hear an American speak.
It's probably still better than a French and Dutch.
Now, I would expect to hear a Frenchman. I am in France after all, watching the biggest race of the year.
I feel like if you want to feel like in France, the Le Mans 24 is the last thing you want to do in France. It's the
I
last.
find that so hard to believe.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think there are more English and Danes, although the Danish will probably be a lot less now with Christensen gone.
It's pretty much more than half of people are from all Europe. You know, it's the one thing they do in the year. It's coming to Le Mans for a week, and that's the holidays. You know.
Surely, if you go to France, you'd also go to Place de la Concorde to slap the FIA.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, for the silliest, whatever silly thing they did that month.
Here, someone here doesn't like the FIA.
I have nothing against the FIA.
You just said you wanted to slap them.
Well, only if they do something stupid. No, only the one who did something stupid.
Just to make sure you know, the FIA, even if they manage everything outside of the USA and motorsports, Le Mans and the AC or the Ultimate Club de l'Ouest, they have their hand on their event, and basically the FIA has not a lot to do on the Mans 24 hours. It's a bit of a special case. Just come here and you're gonna love us.
If I survive the next 6.5 hours, I might.
Hey, 6 hours 15 minutes.
I'm including the post-race stream shutdown.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm gonna make sure that I chat with the race winners before the end of the race and tell them to be really chatty with you guys. Like 1 hour interview that per team, that would be good.
I don't know if we could actually do that. I think we have a race that's going to be on Sim Race TV. on
Yeah,
this
we
PC.
go fairly soon.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to do about 30 minutes of post race max. Which
If that.
honestly, yeah, we're going to be so tired that we'll probably kind of rush a little bit. Question from Michael Booth. Where do you normally marshal at Le Mans?
Never mentioned it I think Michael has probably heard that I worked at Le Mans once, or at least officially once. It was in Saudi year 2013. I got in contact via French forum about more sport history. I got in contact with someone that was working for years at the scrutineering and basically a small team which gather information from teams and bring them to the press and to the commentary booths. And because I knew that guy on that forum, he invited me a first time in 2010 to make the scrutineering without pass. And they realized I speak English, which is not really common in France. And I basically helped them for the team informations for the press. And I got invited again in 2013, and this time with a pass, so I did the scrutineering early in the week. And then during the race and the qualification, I was with my ready on the pit lane, and basically you tell them when a car stops, what it does, when who's out, who's in. You confirm who's in, who's out, and you take this information to the press, but with your radio. And then they gave the information if the commentators asked for them from the press. And that was a pretty good experience, but I must say I prefer being a spectator, because I basically just stayed in the pit lane and didn't walk around the track so much. I was taken by that job. But it's an experience to make, and I'm happy I did that. Sadly, it was the year Alan Simonson lose his life. I was actually listening to the Marshall radio when it happened. I knew that well, they just said driver unconscious, and then changed channels, so we knew it was gonna be bad. And then it was like 10 minutes after the start of the race, and it just killed the rest of the race. You do not have the mental to enjoy the rest of the race.
How is it there? Are you able to actually follow the race properly when you're there, or is it more so just enjoying the people you're with and enjoying the atmosphere?
As a spectator?
Yeah.
No, you can easily follow the race. There are plenty of big screens. Radio Le Mans. So.
I knew Radio Le Mans, and I know if I went with Michael Booth, he'll have that playing pretty much constantly. Knowing him, he'd probably walk around with a boombox or something on his shoulder and listening to it, because that's how much he loves Radio Le Mans.
This
Yeah,
1981 again.
it's on the local radio there.
Yes.
So you can see it all around the track. So.
They got a frequency for the Radio Le Mans, frequency for the French commentators that are on the track.
I forgot it currently, but I know it's 91 or 92 point something.
Yeah, it must be like something like this. And actually, myself, I prefer to listen to Radio Le Mans and the French commentators, because they're basically, well, not as entertaining. And well, I think it's well known in the motorsport world that Johnny North is basically so passionate about sports car that I just have to listen to him living the race.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think most of the whole team is really good at radio.
I went to Silverstone and WEC 2 times, and the first time was 2012. I was invited by Peter Ridley, and yes, John Indoors after the ELMS race went and had a chat with a few spectators behind the grandstand, and yeah, he talked about a few things like how they managed the race, and that was pretty interesting. He really loved that. Easy to tell.
We should have gotten Hideout to commentate with us on this 24-hour race.
Oh yeah, let's just tweet them and they'll say sure. We'll jump right in. It's okay. He's in Dubai for the race there. It's all good. We'll just give him a laptop.
Oh, that race should be over now.
Yeah, the race actually ended.
Yesterday.
Yeah, almost 24 hours ago actually. I think it was ended for sure before this race started. They started on a Friday there, which is interesting to say the least.
I didn't follow that race, but you can ask friends when you're just back from Le Mans. Let's say you have a race at your local track, which is Zandvoort for him. How do you feel, Brent?
No, well, there's really only one race that counts.
That's it. You see, I got in format to Le Mans. It's pretty easy, actually.
Disappointing to go to another track, I'm guessing.
Well, it's. I mean, I even been to the Spa 24 hours, which was like a month later. That didn't even come close to what Le Mans was. Just the whole atmosphere. Le Mans is really special. Hard to explain.
You could tell us what you were doing at Spa 24 hours last year.
We're watching a whole lot of red flags.
And Renz is shy, but he was doing the GT Academy finals at Spa 24 last year. Don't hate me.
Yeah, the Ben was GT, that'd be fun.
I might do the Spa WC event next year. Try to spend some time with my old man, and we did Silverstone, post Le Mans multiple times, and probably Spa next year. Gonna be a new experience for me. It's only the third track I'm visiting.
So yeah, Spa's on my bucket list as well. I'm thinking Nordschleif's there. Probably the 3 tracks in Europe I'll end up going to: Le Mans, Spa, and Nordschleife. Have either of you been there?
Yeah, I think that and probably the Monaco Grand Prix is the destination. More sport lovers probably dreams to go from the USA.
Oh well, Monaco Grand Prix to me is terrible, so there's no excitement to me.
Just the general's feeling. I don't feel like going there myself, especially because it's Formula 1.
I think it's just Nordschleife in general, just something to drive a couple laps on. Even if it was just for the 24-hour race, I'd watch it too, but I think driving a few laps on it would be pretty cool as well. Just to say you did it and just see the difference, I guess you could say.
Yeah. But, well, if you go first to Le Mans, then you don't need anything else. I mean, so if you want to save a bit of money, just come to Le Mans first, and then you've done everything. No, I don't have any bias.
Not at all.
At all.
Coanda Simsport in the pits. Marcus Lindemann. And currently, well, just getting in the car now. Oh, Jonathan, you're French. How do you pronounce Lawrence's last name correctly? He's my teammate, and I'm not even 100% sure.
Oh, the leader right now?
Yeah.
It's not even Laurent. It's Laurent Béteille.
Even I knew it was Laurent, and I'm half asleep.
Well, I'm not going to go and throw in that accent. I'm American. I just want to know how to say it in a more proper fashion.
Well, then you can train yourself. Laurent Béteille.
Laurent Béteille. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'll practice secretly and whisper over and over until I get it right.
Usually when I speak English, I don't even pronounce the name with a French accent, just so you get it better.
Well, how do you say it without a French accent then?
Just trying to make it like you do, Laurent Béteille, you know.
Béteille? I don't even know.
But yeah, in French it's Laurent Béteille.
The I messes me up because normally I just look at it and see like Béteille, but the I is throwing me off. Also, it's late, so I'm not really comprehending things right now.
You try again at the beginning of the race.
That or I'll just have them speak to me and constantly drill it into my brain until I understand it.
I think the commentators have been trying to pronounce Riku's name for like 5 years now, and they still can't do it. So you'll find.
Oh, we actually talked about that earlier. Riku Alatalo. I couldn't even remember how PSR TV said it.
Atulu, I think they said Atulu.
Oh, goodness.
So basically now everyone called him Riku, I think, and everyone understands Riku.
Yeah, I actually said Riku quite a bit at the beginning of the race, but then I had to mention the Alatalo part, or the Atulu part. We're actually soon possibly going to go another lot down. Lawrence just kind of riding in behind him. Peter Ridley, who you spoke about earlier, currently in a battle with Dream Factory for position. And our first British commentator is back, Michael Passingham.
Morning, everyone.
How did you sleep?
Oh, very well, actually. I woke up to, well, lots of looking at the standings and being quite surprised by the drivers who dropped out and teams who dropped out. It's pretty chaotic stuff.
First off, I hate you for being able to sleep. Second off, yes, I'm guessing you saw Team Redline down there. I don't think you saw that before you went to bed.
I was aware that they had an off before I went to bed, and then, in fact, yes, when I went to bed, they had actually retired, but it's the GT Ross, both of those cars, that I'm also surprised to see down there at the bottom.
Yeah. We actually, quite a few people, even my own teammates, had told me, that the roof was, a really quick car and this and that. And I mean, I think we all knew that. However, it's just one of those things where the McLaren's also a really fast car, but you have to be able to, manage that car through setup and driving at 99% instead of 100%. Team Redline has shown that if you overdrive the car, bad things can happen. And the GT Ross guys have shown that if you overdrive the roof, bad things can happen. So, I think that that's kind of just what happened to both those, all three of those teams, as GT Ross had two teams in the field today.
And the other thing, this is what I predicted when I left you about, I guess it was 10 or 11 yesterday. I predicted Coanda would be back at sort of in contention, and they're back in sync, I guess, after their problems yesterday.
Yeah, you definitely did say they'd be back in the top three. You are correct there. They actually have been there for a long time now. especially second after the red line incident. They were in third for a while.
But yeah, it's looking, well, it'll be interesting to see if any of the Kinder cars, any of the drivers, the remaining drivers, can be any faster than the NX Racing Red guys towards the end, maybe catch them. But I mean, the 1 minute 50 lead that NX Racing Red has looking pretty strong, but anything can happen.
Yeah, it's still a quarter of the race left, so yeah, anything can happen really.
There are a few battles on track. Cars are under a second from each other.
Yep. Currently looking at Vortex. Sim Racing trying to pass R4R on the outside going into Blanchimont and somehow succeeding. R4R definitely being nice there. That's very true. Peter Ridley, well, pretty much following Dream Factory for a while now. Trying to see on when they can pass. Dream Factory on 4-lap older tires, so see how that plays out.
Yeah, and that's for, what's that for? Position.
It's for the 22nd position.
22nd, yeah. It looks like Peter Ridley has got a good bit of slipstream, and it's going to go to the inside into Leku, and doesn't quite break as late as he might have wanted, and gets cut off. Good defence there from Garcia in the Dream Factory McLaren. That car on stream appears to be blue, but actually, at least on my screen, it's purple, yeah.
Yeah. Go on board now. You can. I think it looks purple on stream.
Maybe it's my, yeah, it might be my PC that's doing that.
Alright, well, if Renz and JB, if you're willing to stay, we'll have you stay while we float in some other interviews. Stay as long as you two want, since you are both a wealth of knowledge of things and whatnot. We are going to do another stream break here in just a moment to get the things done that we need to get done. 6 hours left. We'll get 2 more parts in after this. When we come back from this break, hopefully I won't have to talk for more than an hour after in the last 6 hours. And Mr. Pascam and company will lead you through the rest of the race. So stay with us, we'll be back in a minute or less, preferably. Stand by.